I chased the woman who destroyed me, and I ignored the one who truly loved me.
They say regret is the heaviest thing a man can carry. But Daniel learned that truth too late. On a quiet rainy evening in Lagos, he sat alone in a small, empty apartment. The kind of place people stay when life has taken everything else away from them. Once, Daniel owned 3 houses, a shining black car, a successful business people admired. Now all he had left was an old photograph in his shaking hands. The photo was of a woman smiling softly. Her name was Emma. Daniel stared at the picture like a man staring at the ghost of his past. His voice trembled. I chased the woman who destroyed me, and I ignored the one who truly loved me. He closed his eyes, fighting the tears. But by the time I realized, she was already gone. And that was how the story began. 2 years earlier, Daniel was the kind of man people called successful. He owned a growing logistics company in Lagos and traveled often between Nigeria and London for business. People respected him. Women admired him. But the woman everyone believed he would marry was Sophia. Sophia was beautiful, confident, and always dressed like someone who belonged in expensive places. She had been Daniel's fiancée for over a year, and their families were already discussing wedding plans. To everyone watching from the outside, they looked like the perfect couple. But there was another woman in Daniel's life. Her name was Emma. Emma was nothing like Sophia. She was simple, kind, and soft-spoken. She worked at a small bookstore not far from Daniel's office. They met by accident one afternoon when Daniel stopped by the shop during a heavy Lagos rainstorm. Emma had offered him tea while he waited for the rain to stop. That small kindness turned into conversations. Those conversations slowly turned into something deeper. Emma fell in love with Daniel. And Daniel enjoyed her love. But he never truly chose her. Emma believed Daniel when he told her things like, "You're special to me," or, "Things are complicated right now." What she didn't fully understand was that Daniel had no intention of leaving Sophia. Sophia was his fiancée. She came from a wealthy family. Being with her meant status, connections, and power. Emma was just comfort. When Daniel felt stressed or lonely, he visited Emma. When he needed someone to listen to him talk about business problems, he called Emma. When he wanted peace away from Sophia's constant demands, he ran to Emma. But when it came to commitment, Emma was always the second choice. Still, Emma loved him with a patient heart. Sometimes she asked him quietly, "Daniel, where do I really stand in your life?" Daniel would smile and change the subject. "You worry too much, Emma." And she would force a smile, pretending she believed him. But deep inside, Emma felt something was wrong. While Emma was loving Daniel sincerely, Sophia was living a completely different life behind his back. Sophia loved luxury, expensive bags, international vacations, 5-star restaurants. But what she loved most was money. And Daniel had plenty of it. Unknown to Daniel, Sophia was secretly seeing other men. Powerful men. Wealthy men. Sometimes even while Daniel was traveling for business. Her friends warned her one day, "What if Daniel finds out?" Sophia laughed confidently. "He won't. He's too blind to see the truth." Meanwhile, Emma continued waiting for a love that never fully came. One evening, Daniel canceled dinner with Emma again. "I'm sorry," he said over the phone. "Sophia needs me tonight." Emma stared at the dark screen of her phone. She whispered softly to herself, "Why do I always feel like I'm competing with someone I can never win against?" But she stayed. Because love can make people ignore the truth. Then one day, everything changed. Daniel returned from a business trip in London to shocking news. Sophia was gone. At first, he thought she had simply traveled. But when he tried calling her, the number was unreachable. Then came the bigger shock. His bank accounts were suddenly empty. Millions of naira gone. His lawyer called him urgently. "Daniel, something is wrong. Some property transfers were signed under your name." "What do you mean?" Daniel asked, confused. "The documents show that Sophia now owns 2 of your houses." Daniel's heart dropped. Within a week, the truth became clear. Sophia had been secretly planning this for months, using fake signatures, manipulation, and access to Daniel's finances. She had taken almost everything. Money, properties, investments. And then she disappeared with another man. The same woman Daniel trusted with his future had destroyed him completely. Daniel's life collapsed faster than he ever imagined. Business partners withdrew. Friends distanced themselves. Debt began to pile up. For the first time in years, Daniel felt truly alone. One night, sitting in the dark, he remembered Emma. Her patience. Her kindness. The way she always listened without judging him. Suddenly he realized something painful. Emma was the only person who had ever truly loved him. Not his money. Not his success. Just him. Daniel rushed to the bookstore the next day. But Emma wasn't there. A new worker looked at him. Oh, Emma left months ago. Daniel felt a cold wave of fear. Left? Where did she go? The worker shrugged. She said she needed a fresh start. Daniel stood there silently. Emma had left quietly, just like the gentle person she always was. No drama. No revenge. Just dignity. And that was when the weight of his mistake finally crushed him. Months passed. Daniel lost the last pieces of his business. He sold his car. He moved into a small apartment far away from the life he once lived. Sometimes he walked through the same streets where he used to meet Emma. Hoping. Just hoping he might see her again. But she never returned. One evening, Daniel sat by the window watching the rain fall. The same kind of rain that had brought him and Emma together the first time. He held the old photograph again. His voice cracked as he spoke into the empty room. Emma loved me when I had nothing to offer her. He wiped his tears slowly. But I only realized her value after losing everything. Outside, the rain continued falling quietly. And somewhere far away, Emma had already built a new life where she was no longer someone's second choice. Daniel looked at the photograph one last time, and whispered words that came too late. I chased the wrong woman, and the right one walked away forever. And sometimes, that is the cruelest lesson life can teach a man. Because the greatest tragedy is not losing wealth. It is realizing that the only person who truly loved you was the one you never chose.